Subscribe to my mommy's channel. Like, comment, and share.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Kiki. Welcome back to Where is the Manual? People call me strong all the time. They say it like it's a compliment, like it's something I should feel proud of. And for a long time, I pretty much was. I wore it like an armor. I nodded, smiled, said the thank yous, and kept it moving. But lately, I've been sitting with the word and really questioning it. Not rejecting it, but examining it, asking myself, what exactly does it mean in my life? And what has it cost me? Because somewhere along the way, people started confusing strong with being okay. So today, my episode is all about strong isn't the same as being okay. And I kind of want to say this from the beginning, so we're very clear. I can be strong, but still be exhausted. I can be strong and still anxious. I can be strong and still struggling quietly. Strength does not mean I'm fine. It just means I've learned how to survive. And survival, while admirable, isn't the same as being okay. I've been the strong one for as long as I can remember. The dependable one, the one who can figure it out, the one who doesn't fall apart. But at some point, strength stopped being something I did and became something I was. And once that happens, it's no longer optional. People don't ask if you can handle something. They just assume you can. They don't ask if you're tired. They assume you'll just push through it. They don't ask how you're doing because they assume silence means stability. And after a while, you start assuming that too. You don't ever ask for help because you don't want to disrupt the version of you that people depend on. You don't want to be the one who suddenly can't carry what you've always carried. So what do? Continue to hold it. You manage it. You compartmentalize. And I'm pretty good at that. Strength wasn't something I consciously chose. It was something I had to do because there really just wasn't space to fall apart, especially if you were always needed. Being a strong Black woman comes with a very specific weight. We're praised for resilience, but rarely protected because of it. Strength becomes expectation instead of options. And at work, it shows up as having higher standards, but guess what? Less grace. It means being trusted with responsibility, but not always given support. It means being capable enough to lead, but rarely allowed to be tired. You don't get to have off days the same way others do. You don't get to be learning. You're expected to already know. You don't get to fall apart because there's always a perception that you're built for more. And in motherhood, it shows up too. People assume you've got it, that you'll figure it out, that you don't need help, that you're handling everything just fine. Strength pretty much becomes weaponized. It becomes the reason people stop checking in. The reason your exhaustion goes unnoticed. The reason burnout creeps in quietly instead of loudly. Being strong didn't protect me from being overwhelmed. It just made it easier to ignore. Here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. You can be strong and still be unraveling internally. I could show up, perform, lead, parent, handle responsibilities, and still feel like I was holding my breath all the time. That's functioning anxiety. You're still productive, so no one questions whether you're okay, including yourself. You don't necessarily collapse dramatically. You don't necessarily have a physical or visible breakdown. You just keep going. And that's the dangerous part, because when distress looks functional, it does not get addressed. It gets overlooked. When burnout looks like competence, it gets rewarded. When anxiety looks like drive, it gets praised. Strength hides pain very well. I didn't ask for help early. I waited until I had what I would call a semi-mental break. Not a dramatic collapse, or perhaps it was, but a moment where my body and my mind finally said enough. For a long time, I told myself I was managing. I was still working, still parenting, still functioning, but internally, I was overloaded. Before that moment, I tried to fix it myself, right? I read all the self-help books, I journaled, meditated, pushed harder. I told myself I just needed to be more disciplined, more grateful, more resilient. But self-help without support can take you but so far. What I didn't understand then was how much this was impacting my health. The stress showed up in my body from fainting to hair falling out to not being able to sleep, showed up in my digestion and my tension, my constant sense of alertness. Mentally, it showed up as anxiety, irritability, emotional exhaustion, even when nothing really looked wrong from the outside. I was still feeling it. Therapy wasn't even about fixing me. It was about giving me language, tools, space, permission. And I wish I hadn't waited for my body to force me to stop. People love to say, just ask for help. But no one talks about what that actually looks like when you've been strong your whole life. For me, asking for help wasn't one big breakthrough moment. It was quiet, incremental, sometimes very uncomfortable. Therapy was the first place where I didn't have to be composed. So I chose to ask for help through therapy, where I didn't have to perform strength before being honest. Leaning on friends and family was a lot harder because that meant asking in real time, say I'm not okay today, letting someone help without immediately paying it back without reassurance. Sometimes asking for help looked like letting someone watch my child so I can sit in silence. Sometimes it looked like saying yes when someone offered. Sometimes it looked like admitting I didn't have answers right now. Asking for help felt like exposure, and I frankly don't like being exposed. But here's what I learned. The people who really care about you don't need you to perform strength. They need honesty. Help doesn't make you less capable. It makes you sustainable. There's another part of this I can't leave out because it matters way too much. All of this didn't just live inside me. It showed up in my parenting. I started noticing I was snapping at my daughter, getting short, overreacting to small things. And the hardest part was knowing that she wasn't the problem. I was. I was carrying too much. And kids are incredibly perceptive. They feel what we don't even say. They notice your tone shifts, tension, impatience. There were moments when my daughter looked at me and asked, "Mommy, are you okay?" And that would stop me cold in my tracks because when your child starts checking in on you, it's a mirror you can't ignore. She noticed my stress. She noticed my sadness. She noticed when I wasn't fully present. And I want to say this clearly too. Noticing it does not make you a bad parent. And for a while, that's all I've questioned was, am I being a good parent? But what I realized is that ignoring it is what does the harm. So I started to make changes. I named my emotions in age-appropriate ways to my daughter, like by saying something like, "Mommy is feeling overwhelmed and needs a minute." I paused before responding. I physically stopped myself. I may step away for 30 seconds if I need to. And when I miss the mark and I end up yelling, because I do, I go straight into repair mode, right? I go into, "I'm sorry I snapped at you. That wasn't about you." Because that repair matters more than perfection. I even lower the bar on hard days, peace over performance. And I make sure stress has somewhere else to go. Take it to therapy, take it to journaling, praying, leaning on people. Because if I don't release it somewhere safe, it comes out where it's not fair to anyone. And protecting my child means protecting myself. Motherhood added such another thick layer. There's a unspoken expectation that I probably placed on myself that moms, especially single moms, must hold it all together at all times. People see the child, not the emotional labor. They see the competence, not the exhaustion. They see the output, not the cost. And there are days that I'm just not okay. Being a good parent doesn't require being unbreakable. It requires being honest. Honest with yourself first. I don't want my child to grow up thinking strength means silence or that love looks like burnout. Lately, I've just been redefining what strength is. Strength now looks like boundaries. It looks like rest without justification. It looks like softness without apologies. It looks like asking for help before the break. Strength doesn't mean carrying everything alone anymore. It means choosing care over endurance. You don't have to earn rest. If you're listening to this and you're the strong one, the dependable one, the one who always shows up, you don't have to be falling apart to deserve care. You don't have to prove exhaustion. You don't have to earn your rest. Strong isn't the same as okay. And admitting that doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. So thank you for sitting with me in this truth today. And this is Where's the Manual? And I'm your girl, Kiki. And until next time, remember, none of us got the manual, and you don't have to carry it all alone.
Subscribe to my mommy's channel. Like, comment, and share. See you all next time.